For this adventure, we went to the Shropshire Hills to do some walking. We stayed at the Walnut Cottage holiday and caravan park near Much Wenlock. It's an eccentric site, but with a friendly and helpful owner. It was a busy site and we stayed next to another base camp. That evening we went into the pretty town of Much Wenlock and ate in the Talbot Inn. For the first day of walking, we drove to Church-Stretton to climb Caer Caradoc, a hill which is 1,500 feet above sea level. It's a steep climb up the first hill, but once you get to the top you get some fantastic views. After the big climb, the walking on the ridge is pretty easy, and the first thing you see ahead of you is Three Fingers Rock. The views are amazing once you get to the top, and you can see right over to the Long Mynd and further off into the distance along the ridge of volcanic rocks out to the Wrekin 10 miles away. You drop off the summit on a steep slope and then you can look behind you and see what you've just achieved. You drop off into the valley, but ahead of you, you can see the next hill coming up. It's called the Lawley. It doesn't look much, but actually it's quite a climb. The sun came out and we walked further along the ridge and decided to stop for lunch with some great views over Wenlock Edge. On the way back, we dropped off the hill and followed a track all the way back up towards Church-Stretton. This is a good route for a day's walk in the Shropshire Hills, with good views, plenty of walking and lots to see. The following day, we went to explore the Long Mynd, which means Long Mountain. We drove through Church-Stretton and parked in Carding Mill Valley near the National Trust shop. It's fairly busy in the car park, but the crowds soon thin out as you climb the steep paths out of the valley. On the way up, you're likely to see ponies grazing in the hills, plus plenty of other wildlife. As you near the top, the track opens up onto the open plateau of the Long Mynd, where you get some good views, even on a misty day. The tracks on the top are good and accessible, and you'll see plenty of walkers and mountain bikers. The high point of the Long Mynd is called Black Pole, which is nearly 1,700 feet above sea level. On the return journey, we drop down into the beautiful Townbrook Valley, which leads back towards the car park. The National Trust shop in Carding Mill Valley has a good shop for a cup of tea and a cake. On our final full day, we went further west in Shropshire to the Stiperstones, a beautiful nature reserve west of the Long Mynd. To get there, it's a hair-raising drive over the Long Mynd along some narrow roads with steep sides, but it's worth it. We parked in a place called the Bog, and our first ascent that day was up Nipston Hill. This overlooks the Welsh border, and from here you head north towards the Stiperstones. This section is fairly easy walking through woodland, over moorland and through fields. The next section of the walk is rocky on the top. You'll need good walking boots to cover this ground. The high point of the Stiperstones is over 1,700 feet above sea level. We stopped behind this big rock for lunch to keep out of the wind and carried on down into the valley afterwards. We then headed back to the cosy base camp to celebrate New Year's Eve. That evening, we cooked up a pre-prepared meal in the base camp's oven to celebrate the new year. The base camp is cosy, quiet and comfortable, the perfect place after a day in the hills. Shropshire is a beautiful county and it's great walking country. We walked 24 miles over 3 days and loved every minute of it.